Hello, and welcome back to my channel. And today, as I am having rank with me, and obviously you can see the background there, Sudamericana, and then obviously Libertadores predictions, which are which I'm excited. I'm so excited for this both competitions because we have some tasty matchups, which I'm looking forward to. So we're gonna look at the matches and then we're gonna predict them. So let's start with we have Sporting Cristal Emelec. Who you think is the favorite for this game? Who will play
It's tough to
defense?
call. Yeah, it's tough to call because Emelec, they've been improving. They started off pretty weak in their campaign in Copa Sudamericana, but they ended up strong with a win over Danubio at home. And Sporting Cristal, we know that Peruvian teams usually tend to underperform, and Ecuadorian teams are usually on the rise. But like Sporting Cristal looked very competitive in that group. They got a draw away in Brazil against Fluminense in the last match. They put up a good game against River Plate as well, both games actually. So like I feel like Sporting Cristal has been having a lot of good performances and against really strong opponents. So honestly, in this game, I might back Sporting Cristal just because they've proven to me that they can go up to like these big games and they don't feel the pressure like other Peruvian teams. And Emelec, they've looked good, but against lesser opposition. So I feel like Sporting Cristal are probably the favorites.
Yeah, and obviously the favorites. It doesn't always end like the favorites win. So so defense is looking at this game thinking they can go through. And the next game, obviously we have Patronato Botafogo. I'm sorry if Botafogo bottles this, they are the biggest frauds. Hello to Matt and hello to AD. Um, yeah, Patronata Botafogo is definitely. I'm gonna close the window because I'm pissing. Yeah. So, anyways, I think Botafogo is the favorite by far. Patronato obviously in the second division. I saw they're like 24th or something like that. I think
I don't
24th.
know. It's kind of weird because the Argentinian second division has two zones. It's like MLS, so I don't know where really they are ranked, but they are not even a good team in the second division. That's how bad they are. And Botafogo, on the other hand, is the team leading in Brasileirao in Serie A of Brazil as of now. So like it would be a massive shock if Botafogo don't win this. I feel like Patronato are mostly happy to be here, and yeah, I fully expect Botafogo to blow Patronato out of the water this game, and they can probably go as favorites into the next game as well.
Obviously, we're not gonna predict the second leg, only the first leg. So the second
Mm-hmm.
leg, we're gonna predict next week or so. I think so. Next week on Friday or something. I don't know. Yeah. Next game, Medellin versus San Lorenzo. I don't know the favorites. This is the tough one because I believe both of them is similar. Like not similar teams, but they're similar level, the same level. Um, yeah, but I would slightly edge towards San Lorenzo though, slightly. Who do you think is the favorite for this? Do you think it's the advantage at home for San Lorenzo in the second leg? Do you think that will factor, or do you see Medellin still doing something incredible in this game?
No, 100%. I feel like playing the second leg at home is huge for San Lorenzo because we've seen that they are usually a very strong team at home. They feel very comfortable there. The game in Medellin can be tough because it's a long distance. It's pretty hot in Colombia. It's always a tough journey for Argentinian teams or teams from the south. So, like, I definitely think that this is a close matchup. Independiente Medellin will put up a fight just like they did in their group. They were in a very competitive group in Libertadores and they dropped down just on the final match day. And San Lorenzo only got into this stage in the final match day as well. So, like, yeah, both teams kind of got here unexpectedly, you could say. But I feel like I would edge out San Lorenzo just because they are looking much better and they play in a more competitive league. Um, yeah, I think just overall San Lorenzo are stronger in my opinion, but Medellin could put up a good fight. You never know.
So obviously the favorites we see, so if it comes around the favorites that we predict are the favorites, it would be Sporting Cristal versus Defensa, and Botafogo and Guarani, um, San Lorenzo versus Sao Paulo, and obviously the next game, obviously weird as there's two Chilean teams against each
Hmm.
other, which I don't understand why, but
Because that's how the seeding worked. Because these matchups were determined by seeding, and it just happened that Ñublense and Audax got matched against each other.
yeah, for in my opinion, I think the favorites. This is a problem with me because I want them both to go through, but at the same time,
Hmm.
yeah, obviously I have my team later, who plays against a Brazilian team. So check out, by the way, I did earlier called path to the final. I went through like our paths. Obviously, we can meet like 50 Brazilian teams, so it's fun. Um, Noblense, I think, are the favorites for this. I think in the league they haven't been performing quite well, but obviously they're playing in a few hours, I believe. Versus Unión Española at home. Um, Audax, yeah, they're a good team, but Nublense basically have. Well, you know what? I think Audax last game they played won 5-2 away. Um, and funny thing is, this game, this tie, is gonna be the same stadium, the both leagues, as the Roa, as we come into the predictions later. Um, I would say Audax favorite in this because they won 5-2 against Nublense in this season, so Souza on good form. So who's the favorite in your opinion? Or yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Most people I see were saying Ñublense are the favorites because they came down from Libertadores and they were in a pretty competitive group with, Racing and Flamengo, and they dropped down to Sudamericana from there. So Ñublense, even though they weren't that amazing in that group, it was because it was a very competitive group. It was always going to be difficult for them. But I honestly think Audax are the favorites. They've been surprising ever since like the previous stages, the qualifiers to the Sudamericana, where they beat Universidad Católica. Then they escaped a group with Santos. So like I feel like Audax Italiano has been putting even stronger performances than Ñublense. That to me, just I don't see anything about this team that signals me that they are going through. I feel like I've seen a lot more from Audax, even though they played lesser opposition in paper. So I think I would favor Audax Italiano to advance.
the funny thing, Nublense are playing obviously in a few hours, and then the next day, actually, it's Audax against Palestino, and then Audax obviously have the Porto Copiapó the 16th, um, a few hours before Nublense play Magallanes, so they both play each other uh, in the middle of the, or they both play league games, important league games at the middle of the. So I don't know how they. Next we have SC Barcelona. So obviously Nublense or Audax will play against Quito, which I am fuming at because Quito can beat the Chilean teams. So yeah, Barcelona against Estudiantes. So there's something about Barcelona and dropping down. Like I don't understand. Um, but I'm gonna be controversial. I think Barcelona is the favorite in this time. Um, 'Cause I think they, I think they were garbage in the group stage of the Libertadores. They obviously came third. On goal difference versus Cerro Porteño, but Cerro Porteño is an awful team. So, Barcelona they played quite well in my opinion. Um, they weren't the worst. Um, I think if they could bring the play they had in the Sudamericana or in the Sudamericana now that they had in Libertadores, Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that could be a sneaky team to go far. Obviously, it would be favorite for Estudiantes, but I think Barcelona. I feel like their team will be even better in Sudamericana because I don't see them as a Libertadores team. I see them as a Sudamericana esque team. Who are the favorites in my opinion? Because Barca is my favorites.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with this one because I feel like this is probably the best matchup we have from the playoffs because Barcelona and Estudiantes have a lot of history in their respective countries. They are both very important clubs, so there's a lot of pedigree in this tie. But I would say Estudiantes are looking much better. They very comfortably escaped their group, only drawing twice to Bragantino, and then they smashed Oriente Petrolero and Tacuary in the group stage. I feel like Estudiantes has been looking amazing in the league as well. In the league, they've been putting some really strong performances. Um, well, as for Barcelona, in that group they lost to Bolivar. They almost lost to Cerro Porteño at home in the last match day. They had to make a big comeback. I feel like Barcelona are extremely shaky at the moment. Their team doesn't look the same like it did a few years ago, where they were really competitive. Um, and they just got 4 points in a group they shared, like I said, with Bolivar and Cerro Porteño. It was pretty bad, in my opinion, what I saw from Barcelona, while Estudiantes have been putting really strong performances. So if I have to put in balance, like who's arriving in better form, I say Estudiantes is in much better form. And as well, playing in the Argentinian league is always going to give you that edge over some other teams. So I feel like Estudiantes would be my favorites.
This comment, as I will show when the Coca-Cola, we're talking about Coca-Cola, what I did earlier today, where I, like 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes, I think that was, where I went through Coca-Cola's path. Hopefully Coca-Cola wins it, and if they do, I don't care, I'm celebrating it like it was the Libertadores. Oh, same funny, yeah. But we can play Corinthians and then we have to beat Mineiro, Bragantino, Fortaleza, Corinthians, and those teams. Next game, yeah, Corinthians is the favorites. I'm sorry, Universitario, but Corinthians they have to go through. Obviously, Barca and Estudiantes will play against Goiás, I believe. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
New Homeboys. Um, they're waiting for a Brazilian team or a Paraguayan or no Peruvian team. I'm sorry, I mixed things up. Long day, by the way. Long week also. Yeah, Peruvian team. Um, they have been good, but it's gotta be Corinthians. They have the heritage. Um, not really, but they're a big team. I think they are the favorites most likely. Yeah, favorites. Rank who's the favorites?
It's really tough because Corinthians at the moment they are looking completely shambolic. Last night Corinthians actually lost to America Mineiro, the team we are gonna be reviewing later. So like Corinthians are looking god awful at the moment. They dropped down from Libertadores, finishing third in their group that was Independiente del Valle and Argentinos Juniors. It was very competitive, but I expected Corinthians to escape that group, and this Corinthians team just looks really, really bad. I still think they should have enough to beat Universitario. I feel like the balance of power is too much in favor of the Brazilian teams. Universitario, I feel like they will put up a great fight like they did in the group, but it's going to be a tall task to go to Sao Paulo and get a result against Corinthians. It's going to be pretty hard. So I would slightly edge for Corinthians, but I feel like it's closer than it looks, in my opinion, because Corinthians are just so bad at the moment.
So, obviously the winner will play New Old Boys, which I'm excited. But the next game, rank. If we lose, I might be angry, and I will be angry because this is a team. I know they beat Corinthians, but we have to win this tie. Because if we lose, it's gonna look very badly on this team, and also on the league, on the country. So Colo Colo is the only hope to win the Sudamericana for Chile. Um, we are the favorites, and if we dare lose the first leg, we are out. Even if we draw, we are out. Like I can't have it like that. Stressful game. Obviously, it's at a great time for me. So the both games are 12 for me. So 12, yeah, 12 at
Hmm.
night. So I will watch those both games. Uh, yeah. We are the favorites. We won 6-1 yesterday, which we could not do it with Deportivo Pereira. I'm pissed off about. So in Copa Chile, we play like Prime Brazil. But in Libertadores, we play like ass. So obviously, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you. So this is the. So we have to be. If we beat Mineiro, we play against Bragantino, and if we beat Bragantino, we could play Fortaleza, and then we could play Corinthians in the semifinal, and then possibly Botafogo or Sao Paulo in the final. So
Hmm.
we have to destroy each Brazilian team to win this crap. So if we do it, it's gonna sound like I'm cocky, but we are winning this time. We are doing it. Like at home, we're winning max 2-3 now. Like we have to finish this team in the first leg. I can't have any of that 0-0. We have to win the second leg. No, we have to batter this team. We need to shut everyone up about Call being so bad. They are going out of their group stage. No, it's the Sudamericana. We have to win it. We're the biggest, probably the biggest club in this competition left.
uh,
The history. Like,
mm,
I beg you, please. Quinteros, you have to win this first thing like 2 or 3 nil, otherwise you're dog shit. But yeah, we are winning at home. I'm sorry. 2 nil max. 2 nil or 3 nil. No. Yeah, but obviously the winner will play Red Bull Bragantino. So rank. Thoughts on this tie? But Colo Colo, who finished third in the stupid group stage, which we got absolutely robbed. Um, we
okay,
should have gone second. Just saying, we should have gone second because we were
okay.
much better than both Monagas and Deportivo Pereira. We should have got 1 point against Boca, but that's another time. Um, who is the favorites in your opinion?
I feel like Colo Colo have to be the favorites coming into this tie. America Mineiro currently god awful in the Brasileirao as well. Um, I also really don't want to see America Mineiro advance because then we would have America Mineiro against Bragantino in the round of 16, which would be an awful tie because it's two Brazilian teams that have no history, no heritage, no fan bases. Like it's so bad. At least Colo Colo has fans. The fans are passionate. They come in big numbers. America Mineiro doesn't have fans. Bragantino doesn't have fans. So like if that tie happens between America Mineiro and Bragantino, I'm gonna be so sad. I feel like no one is gonna watch that. It's gonna be a boring game, and I also need America Mineiro to go out because they are the anti-Jogo Bonito. You know, they score 1-0 and then they sit back. They 11 at the back, park the bus. It's absolutely horrendous. They waste time. So I feel like America
Yeah,
Mineiro for their
just like Deportivo
tactics.
Pereira, absolute disgusting football club, absolute pricks.
So yeah, America Mineiro, I really want them to go out. So I'm really backing Colo Colo in this one, but I feel like it's going to be very hard because Colo Colo just, even though you scored 6 in Copa Chile, in these international competitions, you don't seem to be able to score. And against a really defensive team like America Mineiro, it's going to be tough, especially in Brazil. Like their home ground is pretty strong. So I'm really rooting for Colo Colo. I think they are the favorites, but I have a sneaky sensation that this tie is going to penalties. I'm sorry to say, I feel like this tie is gonna be
Goes
like
to
that.
penalties. I'm not watching the penalties. I legit. To be fair, we have the Paul. Very good penalty takers. So I'm confident about that at least. We have two great shot stoppers and penalties by the way. So if I were Quinteros, play Cortez in the first leg, and then play Cortez, but then if it goes to penalties, swap goalkeeper.
Okay.
Just that will confuse the heck out of the other team. If you switch goalkeeper and a penalty shootout, as we've seen in like the World Cups of centuries, of 2014 when Van Gaal subbed in Krul.
Yeah.
In, I think it was against Costa Rica, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Against
Yeah. It was.
Argentina. Yeah, and we see how that went. So if Colo wins, I will be happy. But please just batter this team. I can't be honest with these Brazilian teams. I can't. Legit. It hurts my soul. Please destroy every Brazilian team. End them. Unless you're Corinthians, please be playing Colo in the semi, so we might actually win. Because we won against them in 2018 in the Libertadores, so we
Yeah.
hope to do it again, please. Unless Quinteros is stupid, I can play Bolados at left back or something. Please don't do that, Quinteros. Please, I can't be else. If play Damian and Lescano, no, keep Bolados on the bench and sub him on. Because against tired legs, with Bolados pace, we know what he can do. Miss an open goal. Crap. Next, so if when Colo Colo wins, we're gonna play Bragantino. Oh crap! Why did I say that? Yeah, I jinxed it now. Screw it. Colo Colo will win and play Bragantino. I'm saying that. Next, we have Libertad versus Tigre. Who is the favorite for this game? Because it has to be Tigre, right? It has to be.
Not in my opinion, because I feel like Libertad currently first in the Paraguayan league. They are looking super strong. I have confidence in them. They put up strong performances in their group. They lost to Alianza Lima. We like to meme them for that, but against the Brazilian teams like Atlético Mineiro and Paranaense, they put up strong performances. And I feel like I have some confidence in them. They've shown that they can be consistent. While as Tigre, in the league, they've been looking very, very shaky. They only escaped the group because they had Deportes Tolima who didn't show up in their group, and I feel like this transfer window is going to be huge for
Cabello.
Tigre. Hmm?
And Puerto
Yeah,
Cabello. They didn't
yeah,
show
as
up.
well. They destroyed that team as well. But I feel like this transfer window is going to be huge for Tigre because most likely they are going to lose Retegui, who's going to Europe. They are going to lose their other striker, Colidio, who is in talks with both Boca and River, by the way. So we are having a little fight for that striker at the moment. Um, so I feel like the Tigre team is going to get completely torn apart in the summer.
Ain't,
And
ain't Retegui going back to Boca? Because ain't he on loan? Or
yeah, but no, he's not coming back to Boca. I feel like he's most likely getting sold to Europe because of his Italian nationality and because he was getting scouted for a long time anyway. He's already in talks with clubs like Lazio, I believe, or others. I don't want to confirm this information, but it's what I've been hearing. And so I feel like Tigre is going to lose a lot of key players, and they already don't look that amazing. While as Libertad, they look a lot more consistent. So I think Libertad are the favorites for this tie.
ooh, very interesting. So, um, oh yeah, we ain't moving to the Libertadores yet because I haven't changed the background. And you know what is coming next? Um, the first, yeah, it's the right. I have to check. Yeah, So the predictions time. Now the predictions time for the first legs only. Or should we do the second as well? Or
I feel like we should do the seconds because then it's gonna be pretty awkward to do a stream only for the second leg. Like,
yeah, let's do both of them. You know what? I'm gonna put a paper, and then I write our predictions. I have so much papers in here. Where the fuck should I-
okay.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I do think that. So, you say your prediction, and then. No, don't say your prediction! Oh, for God's sake, I have to move every single paper. Yeah, sorry about that one. I had to get a paper. So. So. Rank. So. So. So, let's start with the first. Should we do both legs at once? Or should we do
Yeah.
it like first leg and then we move on to the second leg?
Yeah, first leg and then second leg of the same game.
Okay, so we should do that instead of first go for every first leg in that.
No, that's too confusing.
Yeah, so Barca Estudiantes in the first leg. So, so what's your prediction for the first leg?
In the first leg, I feel like it's gonna end 1-1. Estudiantes is gonna hold on for a draw on the road in Barcelona, in Guayaquil, the city of Ecuador.
Mm-hmm. What about the second leg?
And in the second leg, Estudiantes is gonna close out the tie 2-0 at home in La Plata.
Ooh. So we're gonna first do Rank's prediction here, and then we're going to do mine. So I'm letting Rank, the guest, go first. So
Okay.
Nublense against what the heck just happened? Is the internet or something? No. Yeah. So Nublense against Audax. What's your prediction for the first game?
So yeah, you said both ties are gonna be played in the same stadium, so home advantage doesn't really matter for this tie. So I'm gonna say Audax Italiano win the first leg 3-1, and then the second leg ends in a 2-2 draw.
2-1 and then 2-2.
3-1. First leg 3-1 for Audax Italiano, and the second leg it's a 2-2 draw.
So 3-1 to Botafogo in the first leg, did you say?
No, 3-1 for Audax Italiano over Ñublense, and 2-2 the second leg.
I thought you said 2-1 to Ñublense.
No, I said 3-1.
Oh, it's 3-1. And then Patronato Botafogo, the first leg?
First leg, Botafogo is gonna win 2-0 in Argentina, and then they are gonna win 4-1 in Brazil. So it's gonna be 6-1 on aggregate for Botafogo.
Yeah, ooh, that's I can see that happening. Um, yeah. Uh, so, what's the next type? Oh, for God's sake. So the next type, it's Colo against America Mineiro. Uh,
Okay, so the first leg in Santiago de Chile is gonna end 1-1,
fuck's sake.
and the second leg in Mineiro it's gonna finish 0-0, and it's going to penalties.
Oh my days! Please don't. So who's gonna win on pens?
I hope I'm wrong. America Mineiro is winning on pens, 5-3.
For God's sake. Jesus Christ! Why is my year not? How many? How much?
5-3 on penalties.
Well, I'm happy about that. So the next game we have here, that no, it's not that. Libertad against Tigre, first game.
The first leg in Paraguay, Libertad is gonna win 2-0, and the second leg in Argentina, it's gonna be a 1-1 draw.
Ooh. So what tie do we have next? Ooh.
Okay, so Corinthians against Universitario. The first leg in Brazil, Corinthians is gonna win. They're gonna win 3-2.
Yeah.
And the second leg in Peru, it's gonna be it's tough. It's gonna be a 1-1 draw, and Universitario are gonna fall short.
Okay. So obviously we have two more games.
Yeah, Sporting Cristal against Emelec. The first leg in Lima, Sporting Cristal is gonna win 2-1, and then the second leg in Ecuador, it's gonna be 2-1 again for Sporting Cristal, so it's gonna be 4-2 on aggregate.
Yes. So the last game.
Yeah, Independiente Medellin against San Lorenzo. The first leg in Colombia, Independiente Medellin is gonna win 1-0, and the second leg in Argentina, San Lorenzo is gonna make the comeback and it's gonna win 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Second leg. What's the second leg?
3-0 for San Lorenzo. Hello?
Three. Did you say 3-3?
No, 3-0 for San Lorenzo.
What the heck? Oh my god. Yeah. So my predictions, obviously, I'm gonna just do them because I have the games here. So for the Barca first game versus Estudiantes, I have Barca winning 1-0. It's probably gonna be one of those games. And yeah, I think it's gonna be very close that game. And then we have Estudiantes at home. I'm going for a 1-1, and then you know what? I'm going for 1-0 to Estudiantes, and Estudiantes will on penalties.
Okay.
So wins on penalties. So Nublense is gonna lose the first leg 2-3, and then Audax is gonna win the return leg also, but this time 2-0 against Nublense. So it's gonna be very close. So Patronato are actually gonna lose the first leg. Shock. But they're gonna lose 4. And then the second leg, they're gonna lose 2-0. So Botafogo is gonna win comfortably. Because Botafogo is just a better team, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And then we come to my team, which hopefully I'm not too cocky before the game, because last time I was cocky before the game, we lost. AK against Boca Juniors. So, Rick, I think you want to hear my predictions, because it's interesting that I went for this prediction. I went for Colo-Colo to lose the second leg, but we will win the first leg. And you know how much I predict us to win the first leg?
How much?
If you guess,
You're gonna win the first leg for like what, 4-0?
no, we're gonna score 2 crappy goals, and then we're gonna concede 1 stupid goal. We're gonna score twice, but we're gonna concede 1. So we're gonna win 2-1 at home. And then the second leg, you know what we're gonna do? So we're gonna let Mineiro score first to give me stress, but then we're gonna concede 1 goal. No, we're gonna score 1 goal and then play it 1-1. I think it's gonna be 1-1 draw, and then we're gonna back against defense. So we're gonna go through in the tie. So we're gonna win 3-2 on aggregate. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it's like 3-0 to us, and then we can take it easy the second leg. Because I don't want to be stressed. So here is where you're wrong about Libertadores game. Because you predicted 2-0 to Libertad. You did it?
Yep.
I'm gonna say Tigre win 2-1.
Ooh, okay.
And then they're gonna go back home. Crap is gone. But then they're gonna go back home and lose 2-0. So they're gonna go out, but they're gonna do it at home instead. They're gonna lose at
Okay.
home. And then Corinthians is gonna win. You know what? They're gonna win 2-0 against Uni. And then Uni is gonna win 1-0. But you think they're gonna win 1-0, but then they're bottling it, so they're gonna lose 2-1. So we're gonna do the same for the. I have to. We're not gonna start on it yet, but it's the Libertadores one. So Sporting Cristal, they're gonna win, as you said, 2-1. But the second game is where I believe it's gonna finish in a 1-1 draw. And so I think it's gonna be 1-1 draw in at home for Emelec. And then I have actually the same result that you have for the first game, 1-0 to Medellin. And you're thinking, is he gonna go 3-0? That's what you think. So I'm gonna go for 4-2 instead.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have done our predictions. Now we move on to the biggest competition in the world. If Coca or nothing, of course. So we're gonna do the same, but so start with previewing the first game, right? Atletico Nacional Racing.
So Atlético Nacional Racing, this is a very interesting matchup because Atlético Nacional, they are one of the best teams in Colombia, but they've shown a lot of cracks throughout the group stage. They obviously lost to Olimpia and then lost to Patronato, which was really, really bad. So Atlético Nacional look like a very inconsistent team, even though they clearly have quality in that team. And Racing, they went through a really bad spell of form in the league, but right now they are slowly improving. And in Copa Libertadores, we saw that they smashed Ñublense in the last match day. So they obviously are in a better form right now. So I feel like I would back Racing to advance, but it's not gonna be easy for them.
I think the favorites are Racing in this. I'm just gonna go for my favorites. So then you could talk while I fix the prediction thing. So I think Racing, Boca, Palmeiras, De Valle, Paranaense, River, Flamengo, and Argentinos is the favorites.
Ooh, okay. So the second match day is obviously going to be the one I'm most interested about, Nacional against Boca Juniors. Nacional, the state of the Uruguayan league is pretty bad at the moment. The teams from Uruguay don't seem to compete like they used to. Nacional has a lot of history. They have a lot of heritage. They have a big fan base in Uruguay. So they are definitely a scary team to go up against at any moment. But I feel like we should be beating them, especially, like I said, with the state of Uruguayan football. I feel like they are not competitive. And yeah, Boca, if we get a good transfer window, we should be in a good route to the semifinals potentially. But we need to. Every game seems to be difficult for Boca nowadays. So we just need to show up. Our players need to recover from injuries. We need to make some good signings. And if we make some good business in the summer, I feel like we could be a pretty strong team. For now, I don't see it. I feel like we are going to beat Nacional no matter what. But it's I don't know how close it's gonna be. It's gonna depend a lot of what happens this summer, honestly. Um, Next, we have Atlético Mineiro against Palmeiras, a matchup we've seen plenty of times over the last few years. Obviously, they played in the semifinals of the 2021 Copa Libertadores and in the quarterfinals of the last Copa Libertadores. So these two teams know what it is to play against each other a lot, even in international competitions, let alone the Brazilian league. So they know each other, and Palmeiras has advanced both times, but it was always very close. Mineiro always gave them a rough time. Last time even was some penalties, I believe. Um, so even though I think Palmeiras are the favorites, I feel like it's going to be an extremely close game. And Felipao Scolari, the no coach for Mineiro, is not going to make it easy for Palmeiras. Um, yeah, I feel like it's super close. It's one of the best ties of the round of 16 we have. Deportivo Pereira against Independiente del Valle. I feel like Independiente del Valle should be huge favorites here. Deportivo Pereira, it's their first time in Copa Libertadores. They are just happy to be here. Independiente del Valle plays some amazing football. They have amazing talent in that team. And yeah, I just like them a lot. I think they could be a dark horse to make a deep run in this competition, and I feel like they'll easily get through Deportivo Pereira. Next up, we have Bolivar against Atlético Paranaense. Now it's very tough because Bolivar, they looked great in the group stage, but I feel like it will be a step too far going up against Paranaense, who has been in amazing form. They have a lot of talented players as well, like almost every Brazilian team, but Atlético Paranaense has been even one of the best Brazilian teams we've seen. And Bolivar, they have to make the most out of the first leg that they are going to be playing in La Paz, obviously, because if they don't get a big margin to defend in Brazil, I see no chance of them advancing. So I feel like Atlético Paranaense are the big favorites. River Plate against Internacional. It's going to be very, very tough to call. River Plate are obviously going to win the Argentinian league. They are looking like the strongest Argentinian team at the moment. And they are playing some good football. They have a lot of good players. They have a lot of grit and fight. They have a lot of heart. So I feel like River is going to be a tough opponent for anyone. But Internacional, they are not one of the most scary Brazilian teams, but they still have some great players like Luis Adriano. They signed Ener Valencia in this transfer window, so that's going to be a huge signing for them. Internacional could make it very difficult for River. I don't know what to predict on this one. Because River has shown some inconsistencies at times, even though they play great for most of the game. They tend to have distractions in defense and in midfield, so I have no idea how that's gonna go. Then we have Flamengo against Olimpia. Last time they played, Olimpia got completely destroyed, but I feel like this is gonna be a different one because Flamengo look weaker under Sampaoli, and Olimpia have looked stronger. They put up a great performance in the group, finishing first above Atlético Nacional and other teams. So I feel like Olimpia will put up a fight. I would still favor Flamengo to advance, but Olimpia will give them a much better game this time around. I'm sure of it. And Argentinos Juniors against Fluminense is probably my favorite side because Fluminense, they had a very, very good start to the group stage, getting 9 points out of their first 3 games, but after that they fell off a cliff. They don't look the same. They are not playing that great in the Brazilian league as well. They are not doing so awesome as they were before. So I feel like Fluminense is on a downwards trend, while as Argentinos Juniors, they play some good football. I really like their style, and I feel like they have a lot of personality. They showed it in the group stage, beating Corinthians on the road. So I feel like they could do the same here. I wouldn't rule out Argentinos Juniors advancing, but it's gonna be very close.
Prediction. So this time I'm gonna go first.
Mhm.
Obviously I have a different order, but we probably take it that way. That we have it there. So the first game, Nacional versus Racing. I'm going for a 1-1 draw in the first leg because I think they will. I think the Racing will be happy to take it to home, which I think they will win 2-0. So Racing goes through 3-1. Next is Bolivar versus Paranaense. For the first leg, here is where I might go crazy with my prediction. I'm gonna say 4-1 to Bolivar at home. And then the second leg, I'm going for 2-1 win to Paranense. So Bolivar will go through in that case.
Ooh,
The next
okay.
Is firstly, I'm gonna say Olympia winning 2-0 at home. And
Well, the
then,
first leg is in the Maracanã.
yeah, but I'm saying the home leg, I think Olympia won 2-0. But then I think at the Maracana, they will lose 3-0. So Flamengo goes through there.
Okay.
I think it will be too short for Olympia versus Flamengo, the reigning champions. Hopefully, these bastards doesn't win again. So the next game, next tie is Mineiro versus Palmeiras. So for the first leg, I reckon this could be close. But I mean, I think we have a 1-0 win for Mineiro here. Especially at home, they're a strong home team, as we've seen in the Libertadores. Then I think Palmeiras wins 2-0. I think Palmeiras goes through there. 2-1 on average. The next match tie, it's Deportivo Pereira versus Independiente del Valle. Shout out to Foresight Football. Could have been Colo Colo versus Del Valle, me versus him, but yeah. You know what? I reckon Deportivo Pereira wins this home leg.
Ooh.
Because they have been very good in the group stage. I think they were winning 2-1. But then I think Del Valle wins 2-0 at home. So you've seen the pattern where 2-0 at home. Where I have a Racing Club to win 2-0. Del Valle win 2-0. Palmeiras win 2-0. And then Olympia win 2-0. The next game at the tie, Argentinos Juniors versus Fluminense, right? I think it will be a high scoring 2-2 draw. And then the second game, you know what? I reckon Argentina Juniors go away and win 2-1.
Ooh.
I think that's a game where it's harder to predict because you don't know how these two teams will play, especially how good they've been in the group stage. Next, we have, the last two games, we have two Argentina Cups, one of yours. First, we have River against Internacional. So the first leg, I reckon I think this will be 1-0 to River. And then, you know what? I'm going for a high scoring 2-2 draw in the second leg. So
Ooh.
here we have the last tie I will predict before we go on to your predictions. So Nacional versus Boca Juniors. I think Nacional at home is a good team. I think Boca, they haven't been the greatest away, but it's a game where an upset can happen. Like, no, I don't think a battering will happen like 4-3 now to Nacional. I don't think that will happen. I know Boca Juniors haven't been the best away this season I've seen in the league. I think you have lost like 7, 8 games, and half of them I think it was away. You haven't been the greatest. Um, I might back Nacional at home to win uh, 2-1. I think they are a very good home team. Uh, I'm not taking any away from them. I think they should 100% um, take the anger and beat Boca like 3-0 or something. They could easily do that. But I think Boca would just. I think you're calm because this time you know you can. If you take a draw or lose like 1-0 or 2-1, you can definitely turn it around at home. Um, unless if it's a battering like 4-3-0 to Nacional, then I don't see you guys turning it around. But I actually have a sneaky feeling that something will happen in the second leg, which would be crazy. Um, I think Boca um, will win um, 4-2 at home, and you guys go through uh, 5-4 on aggregate.
Wow.
What do you say about that?
Well, yeah, that's extremely crazy result.
So, yeah, that's me. Typical of me. Just leave it alone. So let's do your prediction. So for the first leg, so what do you think?
So
Like for
Atlético Nacional against Racing. The first leg. I predict Atlético Nacional to win 1-0, and the
Mhm.
second leg, Racing is gonna turn it around and win 3-1.
Oh, that's interesting. 3-1, you said. Ooh.
Yeah, for Racing.
So the
Second leg,
next.
second game. I mean, we have
Mhm.
Bolívar against Atlético Paranense. In the first leg, Bolívar is gonna win 2-1,
Mhm.
and in the second leg, Atlético Paranense is gonna win 4-0.
Ooh. Yeah, that I could say next game. Which we
Flamengo
have.
against Olimpia. Um, in the first leg, Flamengo is gonna win at home 2-1 over Olimpia, and in the
Mhm.
second leg, it's gonna be a 2-2 draw.
So similar to me almost. Um.
It's close on aggregate, but yeah, you had Flamengo winning and then Olimpia winning. Anyway, Atlético Mineiro against Palmeiras. Now, first leg, Palmeiras is actually gonna win 2-0 on the road,
Yeah.
and in the second leg, Atlético Mineiro is also gonna win on the road 2-1. So Palmeiras go through on aggregate.
So the next game, which we have, is
Yeah,
the.
Deportivo Pereira against Independiente del Valle. In the first leg, Independiente del Valle is gonna win on the road 1-0, and they are gonna close out the tie at home 3-0. So 4-0 on aggregate.
So 2-1 to who?
No, that's not what. Independiente del Valle is gonna win 1-0 on the road in the first leg, and they are gonna close out the tie 3-0 at home.
Bro, if that happens, I'm fully ashamed of Coldman. Fully. So we have Fluminense against
Ooh,
Argentinos Juniors.
Yeah, first leg at home, Argentinos Juniors is gonna win 2-1, and then in Brazil, Fluminense is gonna win 1-0, and Argentinos Juniors is gonna win 4-2 on penalties.
Wow. Um,
Then we have River Plate against Internacional. I'm gonna predict Internacional to win in the Estadio Monumental 2-0, and then River tried to make the comeback in Brazil, but they only win 2-1, and Internacional go through 3-2 on aggregate.
wow. So is that bias there?
That probably is bias. That probably is bias. There were a lot of comments.
Yeah, there's only these two from up.
Okay. And the last match, and the last match, Nacional against Boca. Boca is gonna win 1-0 in Montevideo in the first leg, and then we are gonna close out the tie 2-1 at home.
Hopefully you lose away.
Okay.
Hopefully you lose away 2-1 and then win 4-2, so I can get that bang on prediction. So that's been this prediction for the both legs. Ooh, you say Boca and River will. Yeah, that's what I'm also saying. That I think it will be very close in this. Obviously, hopefully, after the rounds, we will look at the recap. We will look at our predictions. So for that, we will first recap the games and then look at the predictions we did to see if we got anything right. Hopefully, I get something right. Thank you guys for watching. I guess rank. Can't wait until a few days actually. 1, 2, 3, 6 days actually. Can't wait. Which games are you looking forward to out of all these games from tournaments?
Well, if we're speaking Sudamericana, I'm looking at Barcelona against Estudiantes. I'm also looking at Sporting Cristal against Emelec. I think it's a good game. After that, I don't know. Some of the ties aren't that exciting, but I feel like in Libertadores there are so many good ties. You have Atlético Mineiro against Palmeiras, Fluminense against Argentinos Juniors, River against Internacional, Boca Nacional. I feel like it's a game with a lot of heritage events, so it's entertaining. Yeah, there are a lot of good matchups in Libertadores.
So what's coming up tomorrow is the Women World Cup predictions. It's gonna be 15 minutes before this stream started. Obviously, I will be joined by Rank and Matt. I'm sure he will come on to that. And we still have to win at home based on their form in the group, especially. Yeah. It was good predictions. What they say. Who has made the most crazy predictions this time around?
You, usually, as always.
Yeah. Yeah, but you said quite good ones, which I will be keeping while watching the game. I will be keeping on the paper and look what predictions we make. I'm not sure how many games I will watch. The color games I will watch 100%. I know Balance Alex probably watch, and then I'm not sure the rest of games actually. Might watch Boca Nacional and then River versus Internacional.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm for sure watching all the Argentinian clubs except maybe Patronato. I feel like that's the only game I might not watch, but all the other Argentinian clubs are watching.
Yeah, that's not a game I'm watching. So thank you for watching. Obviously, we will be back after all the games are finished. The day after, um, the recap is probably gonna be Saturday, as always, um, with all the recap matches of this. Uh, yeah. It, should we do it after the both legs are finished, or should we?
Whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah, I think we do it like we had done the first leg, and then the second leg we do it after the second leg is done. So
Okay.
when the first leg is done, uh, we do only the first leg, then recap, and then hopefully Colo wins, so I can be happy that stream. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.